Hello everybody, welcome back to another reaction video. If you're eventually watching this on YouTube, I encourage you guys to join our Patreon community, where you guys also get to be a part of choosing the exclusive films and shows that I watch for you guys, and this one being a part of them. We've just finished WandaVision on Patreon. Very exciting, awesome. We're also about to start Loki now that we finished WandaVision. What else are we on? Today, we're gonna be watching episode 3 of season 7 of Game of Thrones. We're also diving into Deadpool now. We have our next Patreon exclusive film, which is La La Land. And we've just finished Fury. But yeah, you get to be a part of choosing all of those little thingies. And you also get access to all of my reactions, early access to my reactions, as well as Discord access, where we have movie nights every last Saturday of the month. And we're also adding a bunch of stuff on Patreon as well. And I can't think of anything else right now. I'm just diving into these things today, so I think I'm really excited is why. As you guys do know, I do watch the pre-summary to the last episode, and we kind of talk about it during the introduction, so that's what we're going to be doing. I kind of need it. I'm so excited, actually, because I can't believe that we're almost done with this show, and everything's kind of piecing itself together, so it's kind of... I'm scared, but I'm really excited. So, I guess without further ado, let's just dive into the introduction. Yeah, oh god. Alright, we got a few things. So this is what we've got in the little glimpse. Obviously, what happened with Theon. I really want to know what the fuck is going to go. What is going to happen now? We have Sam treating Jorah. We also got a little glimpse on Bran. So that's exciting. Very exciting. Jon is heading towards Dany. So that is... I'm just so excited, dude. Also, the very last thing that they did show us was Sansa. Obviously, Jon going to Dany, and Sansa is kind of like in charge of the North. And Littlefinger's little smirk at the end, so obviously that's a little nerve-wracking. I'm kind of taking those little scenes as glimpses because of the video that we've watched for the last episode on Jon Snow being a Targaryen. I feel like the show has those little glimpses and things that we have to take everything into consideration. So I think this is what is making this more nerve-wracking than it already is. It also showed Myrcella, I think that was her name, and her death. And Jaime on the boat, so I'm questioning why that was. And this has to do something with Cersei, so I'm like, you know? Holy fuck, this is where we're starting? Sorry. Sorry.
Bastard of Winterfell, dwarf of Casterly Rock. I believe we lost each other at top of the wall. You were pissing off the edge, if I remember right. Picked up some scars along the road. It's been a long road, but we're both still here. I'm Tyrion Lannister.
That was Seaworth.
Ah, the Onion Knight fought on opposite sides at the Battle of Blackwater Bay.
Unluckily for me.
If you wouldn't mind handing over your weapons.
I can't place the accent.
I was born in the island of Narth.
Ah, I hear it's beautiful down there. Palm trees and butterflies. Haven't been myself.
And Sansa, I hear she's alive and well.
She is.
Does she miss me terribly? A sham marriage, and unconsummated.
I didn't ask.
Well, it was. Wasn't. Anyway. She's much smarter than she lets on.
She's starting to let on.
Good.
My bannermen think I'm a fool for coming in.
Of course they do. If I was your hand, I would have advised against it. General rule of thumb. Stark men don't fare well when they travel south.
True. But I'm not a Stark.
Imagine.
Come. The mother's waiting for you.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
You begged us to summon the king in the north. Don't you want to see him again?
I've done my part. I've brought ice and fire together.
You spoke so highly of Jon Snow, but when he arrives, you hide on a cliff. I didn't take you for a bashful girl.
My time whispering in the ears of kings has come to an end.
Oh, I doubt that. Give us common folk one taste of power, we're like the lion who tasted man. Nothing is ever so sweet again. I don't think you should return to Westeros. I'm not sure you'd be safe here.
Oh, I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Bitch.
You stand in the presence of Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, rightful heir to the Iron Throne, rightful Queen of the Andals and the First Men, protector of the Seven Kingdoms, the Mother of Dragons, the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea, the Unburnt, the Breaker of Chains.
This is Jon Snow. He's king in the north.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for traveling so far, my lord. Torrhen Stark swore fealty to House Targaryen in perpetuity. Or do I have my facts wrong?
I wasn't there, Your Grace.
No, of course not. But still, an oath is an oath. And perpetuity means... What does perpetuity mean, Lord Tyrion?
Forever.
Forever. So I assume, my lord, you're here to bend the knee.
I am not.
No.
Oh, she swallowed.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Oh, God.
Our two houses were allies for centuries. And those were the best centuries the Seven Kingdoms have ever known. Centuries of peace and prosperity. With a Targaryen sitting on the Iron Throne, and a Stark serving as Warden of the North.
You're right. You're not guilty of your father's crimes. And I'm not beholden to my ancestors' vows.
I knew that fucking shit
why are
was...
you here?
Because I need your help, and you need mine.
Did you see 3 dragons flying overhead when you arrived?
I did?
And did you see the Dothraki? I need your help.
Not to defeat Cersei. You could storm King's Landing tomorrow and the city would fall. Hell, we almost took it and we didn't even have dragons.
Almost.
The only reason I can see is you don't want to kill thousands of innocent people. It's the fastest way to win the war, but you won't do it. Which means, at the very least, you're better than Cersei. Your Grace, everyone you know will die before winter's over if we don't defeat the enemy to the north.
As far as I can see, you are the enemy to the north.
I am not your enemy. The dead are the enemy.
The dead.
Va a ser
Is
como...
that another figure of speech?
The army of the dead is on the march.
The army of the dead.
I swear to God, if they just say some bullshit as if like dragons were not this thing that nobody believed in.
The army of the dead is real. The White Walkers are real. The Night King is real. I've seen them.
And it's just like the dragons, dude.
Wobbling amongst ourselves. We're finished.
I was born at Dragonstone.
At
Not
least.
that I can remember it.
I'm like stopping myself.
Best friend, no? I was born to rule the Seven Kingdoms. And I will.
You're goddamn right.
You'll be rolling over a graveyard if we don't defeat the Night King.
You don't believe him. I understand that. It sounds like nonsense. But if destiny has brought Daenerys Targaryen back to our shores, it has also made Jon Snow king in the north. You were the first to bring Dothraki to Westeros. He is the first to make allies of wildlings and Northmen. He was named Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. He was named king in the north. Not because of his birthright. He has no birthright. He's a damn bastard. All those hard sons of bitches chose him as their leader because they believe in him. He risked his life for his people. He took a knife in the heart for his people. He gave his own...
I mean no offense, Your Grace, but I don't know you. As far as I can tell, your claim to the throne rests entirely on your father's name, and my own father fought to overthrow the Mad King.
God.
The Lords of the North placed their trust in me to lead them, and I will continue to do so as well as I can.
It's also fair to point out that I'm the rightful queen of the Seven Kingdoms.
Oh, you shouldn't.
By declaring yourself king of the northernmost kingdom, you are in open rebellion.
Me estás cargando con.
We'll have baths drawn for you and supper sent to your rooms. Idrisojin, Mararesh, Gachajan Mori, Timoriachek Fosman Fitihiri Mora.
Am I your prisoner?
Not yet.
The complexities on their past and everything that they don't know, but also what's going on and what she. Oh, Lord.
Your sister's dead.
You're on us.
You saw him take her, but you got away.
I couldn't save her. I tried.
You wouldn't be here if you tried.
I thought for sure they died.
Look at them, cheering for Greyjoy. Did you see little Theon's face right before he jumped overboard? Oh no!
Please accept this gift on behalf of all of your loyal subjects in the Iron Islands.
I give you what no other man could give.
Justice. Justice for your murdered daughter.
You've proven yourself the greatest captain on the 14 seas, and a true friend to the crown.
You deserve more than a true friend.
And you deserve a proper reward for your heroism.
There's only one reward I want.
You shall have what your heart desires.
Míralo, míralo.
When the war is won. With Euron Greyjoy commanding our naval forces, and Jaime Lannister leading our armies, the sons and daughters of Westeros shall defend our country.
The same mob spattered my sister not long ago. And if you turn on us, they'll cheer to see your head mounted on a spike.
All yours. If you have any advice at all, I'd love to hear it. When we have an hour or two to speak as brothers.
Advice?
Does she like it gentle?
I fucking. Oh my god.
The finger in the bum. Not now. We'll talk later.
That's why I did that face the moment he said the advice thing. I'm like, ¿cuál es su madre? Y ahora, Jaime, I swear to God, dude, I
want you to know I understand. Even though we're enemies, you and I understand the fury that drives.
Oh my God, it's happening so fast.
I was there that day when Sir Gregor crushed your lover's head. I close my eyes. I can hear the sound of Oberyn's skull break. The sound of your scream. She was mine. And you took her from me. Why did you do that? Doesn't matter now.
Man, am I? Of course.
Your daughter's a beauty too. Those brown eyes. Those lips. Perfect Dornish beauty.
I was gonna ask, are we really about to see
I'm
this?
supposed to have favorites.
Where's Bear? It's fucking here.
Sorry, I can't understand you. The gag makes it impossible to understand what you're saying. It must be frustrating. We all make our choices. You chose to murder my daughter. You must have felt powerful after you made that choice. You feel powerful now. I thought about having Sir Gregor crush your skull the way he did Oberyn's. It would be poetic, I suppose, but fast. Too fast.
I'm so scared of seeing like thumbs and eyes right now. And I know it's because of the fight that happened.
Qyburn, he's the cleverest man I know. Clever enough to learn what poison you used to murder Marcella. The longer goodbye was at it.
The long farewell.
That's the one. How long does the poison take?
Difficult to say. Hours, days. It depends on the subject's constitution.
But death is certain.
Oh, yes. Quite certain.
If you refuse to eat or force food down your throat, you will live to watch your daughter rot. To watch that beautiful face collapse to bone and dust. All the while contemplating the choices you've made. Make sure the guards change the torches every few hours. I don't want her to miss a thing.
Fuck. My god, dude. The show always goes right next one thing to another really quickly. Still not used to. Damn it, dude. Fuck! I'm always literally... Please. Por favor, te lo pido, Jamie. Like... Dude, I'm fucking stressed. I just feel a little stressed.
She protects people from monsters, just as you do. That's why she came here. And she's not about to head north to fight an enemy she's never seen on the word of a man she doesn't know after a single meeting.
What about the dragon class? Would that convince? Would that be...
So do you have anything reasonable to ask?
Dragonglass.
Yes, volcanic glass. Obsidian. He says you have a tremendous amount of it here.
Why are we talking about glass?
And she doesn't exactly. It would be
Speaking to Jon Snow, a potential ally.
What does the king in the north want with dragonglass?
Apparently it can be turned into weapons that kill White Walkers and their foot soldiers.
And what do you think about this army of the dead?
I'd very much like to believe that Jon Snow is wrong. But a wise man once said that you should never believe a thing simply because you want to believe it.
Which wise man said this?
I don't remember.
Are you trying to present your own statements as ancient wisdom?
Never do that. To you. The reason I believe Jon Snow is because he's here. All of his advisors would have told him not to come. I would have told him not to come. And he's here anyway. You don't have to believe him. Let him mine the dragonglass. If he's wrong, it's worthless. You didn't even know it was here. It's nothing to you. Give him something by giving him nothing.
I named them for my brothers, Viserys and Rhaegar. They're both gone now. You lost 2 brothers as well.
I'm like looking for my pen.
People thought dragons were gone forever, but here they are. Perhaps we should all be examining what we think we know.
You've been talking to Tyrion.
Here's my hand. You know I'm not going to let Cersei stay on the Iron Throne.
I never expected that you would.
And I haven't changed my mind about which kingdoms belong to that throne.
I haven't either.
Oh my god, wait, I just thought of something I'll talk
I
about.
will allow you to mine the dragonglass and forge weapons from it. Any resources or men you need, I will provide for you.
One of 2 things will happen. Either the dead will defeat the living, in which case all our troubles come to an end, or life will win out.
And what then? Don't fight in the north or the south. Fight every battle, everywhere, always. In your mind, every possible series of events is happening all at once. Live that way, and nothing will surprise you. Everything that happens will be something that you've seen before.
God.
Lady Sansa, at the gate.
Hello, Sansa.
I thought it was Arya, but that works too.
I wish Jon were here.
Yes.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god.
Sorry. Your father's last living true-born son You're Lord of Winterfell now.
I can never be Lord of Winterfell. I can never be Lord of anything. I'm the three-eyed raven. I need to learn to see better. When the long night comes again, I need to be ready.
How do you know all this?
The three-eyed raven taught me.
I thought you were the three-eyed raven.
I told you it's difficult to explain.
Bran.
I'm sorry for all that's happened to you. I'm sorry it had to happen here, in our home. It was so beautiful that night. Snow falling, just like now. And you were so beautiful. In your white wedding dress.
I have to go back inside, Bran.
I'll stay a bit longer.
One could almost be forgiven for thinking that the entire upper layer of diseased skin was debrided, and the underlying region treated with some sort of unguent.
Don't know anything about that. I just started feeling better. I assumed it was the rest that did it.
You're free to go, sir. This chamber is needed for the infectious, which you are no longer. Charlie, I'd like to speak with you in my study this evening.
How bad is it?
I suppose I'll find out this evening.
Perhaps our paths will cross again.
I hope they do.
Sorry, that moment. I have to talk about it. Sorry. Okay.
No one. Who forbade you or anyone to attempt to treat him?
I seem to remember you.
But you treated him anyway. I forbade it because it is dangerous and rarely successful, especially on someone of that age. It's a meticulous, difficult procedure. Many maesters whose chains are heavy with healing links have attempted it and failed. But you succeeded.
I read the book and followed the instructions.
That man is alive because of you. You should be proud.
Thank you, Archmaester.
Come here. I need you to make copies of them. You're expecting a reward. Your reward is not being immediately expelled from the Citadel.
We need to find Euron Greyjoy's fleet and sink it.
Your Grace, he's already destroyed a good portion of our fleet.
What about Casterly Rock?
The Unsullied will be there soon.
That answered one of my first questions I had written down.
They know we're coming.
Yes. Cersei believes my sole purpose in life is to destroy House Lannister.
Wait, no, I didn't.
She will be ready.
Sorry, I'll ask it after.
The Lannister army is still the army my father built. Well-trained and well-provisioned. 10,000 men at least. They will see us coming. They will be ready. The fight up the walls will be hard. We will be at a disadvantage. Many men will die. Just as my father said they would. It was a passage that began in an out-of-the-way cove by the sea and ended beneath one of the main guard towers. No better place for low pursuits than beneath the ground. Casterly Rock is an impregnable fortress. But as a good friend of mine once said, give me 10 good men, and I'll impregnate the bitch. They will face the bulk of the Lannister forces. They will be outnumbered. They will have less armor and fewer weapons.
Dorion Bas. Inkasonesko Sidri Hibezi. Kara Sigri.
Where are the rest of the Lannisters?
It's done.
It is.
And now the rains weep o'er our halls. Your brother and his new queen thought you would be defending Casterly Rock.
The truth is, Casterly Rock isn't worth much anymore. Well, it is to me. But my fond childhood memories won't keep Cersei on the throne.
So you just let them take it. But your sister has done things I was incapable of imagining. That was my prize mistake. A failure of imagination. She's a monster, you do know that. You really do love her. You poor fool. She'll be the end of you.
Possibly. Not much to be gained from discussing it with you, though, is there?
What better person to discuss it with? What better guarantee could you have that the things you say will never leave this room?
Yep.
But perhaps you're right. She's a disease. I regret my role in spreading it. You will too.
I think we're done here.
I'd hate to die like your son, clawing at my neck, foam and bile spilling from my mouth, eyes blood red, skin purple. Must have been horrible for you, as a king's guard, as a father. It was horrible enough for me. A shocking scene. Not at all what I intended. You see, I'd never seen the poison work before. Tell Cersei. I wanted to know it was me.
Her and Littlefinger? Damn, she's going out with a bang. I can't remember if Littlefinger... I know it's been a while from when Littlefinger told Sansa about that, but I can't remember if he mentioned having help. He definitely didn't mention... Or did he? There's absolutely no fucking way. I don't remember that. I don't remember. Damn. But you know what? I'm glad that she told him, like, that whole thing about her being a disease and you're gonna regret being part of it as well. Because, bro, for some reason, I'm not losing that fucking hope where Jaime, please, Jaime, dear, get your please, dude. But the thing is, it just has to come to an acceptance where it's just like, if it's gone this far and you're still under her control, basically, because you're so in love with her and you're willing to put up and do all of this because of it, you're done. We're done. What am I even? There's nothing I should be expecting anymore from him. It's just very sad. So I have a couple things written down that I want to talk about, questions that I have. Okay, so the first thing I wrote, right, was Dany and her dragons. The whole thing about the White Walkers and the Army of the Dead and things like that. I could also just not be thinking of it too much. I think it's just a question that popped up in my head. But we know that the dragons are not easily tamed, I guess you could say. Because I don't know if you guys remember during the reaction, but I like crossed it out on my thing and I was like, oh wait, that answered my question, and then it didn't. The reason why I did that was because my initial question was if she's able to mount the dragons and fly them overhead, obviously, directing them where to go and also fly back. Could she do that in order to know if the Army of the Dead is real or White Walkers or things like that? Because they're marching towards the wall. So I'm thinking, is she able to do that, or is the winter too cold for the? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm kind of like trying to figure out if she could do that. And then when we went, and I think that's like the only basis that kind of halts me from saying, oh, you know what, she's probably not able to do this because winter, because of the cold, you know, that comes with the entirety of the war beyond the wall. So, or that's coming, you know. So that is kind of where my mind stays on that question. But because of the initial question, it being like, is she able to kind of direct them? And because of the whole thing with the ships that they ended up talking about at Dragonstone, with her flying over Euron and the ships with the dragons, and they were saying like, no, you're too, like, it's too risky. They can still shoot you with arrows. Like, you're too important, basically. But that also basically says that she is able to do that. like fly overhead. So then again, I think the limiting thing is the winter itself for the dragons. I would, I think that's the only thing, because I would think dragon scale and, the dragons themselves, I feel like they're strong enough to do that. But now with the whole thing with Cersei and, their vulnerability, I'm just like, there's just like a couple of things that I'm unsure of. So that's the first thing. All right. Oh. I was trying to figure out why I wrote this, but I put Dany and Jon, and then I put correlation. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was, I believe it was a few seasons back, but there was a correlation that I made before knowing that Jon was a Targaryen. But there was something where I was like, oh, they seem very similar in the context, and especially because they did it very similarly in the way that they feel about things and the way that they took the way they went about the decision. And also, I just can't remember if it was in the same episode, but I remember talking about it and I was like, wait a second. But I don't think it was in the same episode. Take it back. But it was when Jon was beheading someone from the Night's Watch. And I believe it had to do with his death because of the betrayal. And then the similar thing, but with Dany. And the way they went about the hesitation when it came to actually doing that, and then they ended up doing it. But the entire process and how they felt and the hesitation and then coming to the end of it, it was the same. I'm like trying to, yeah, dude, it was the same to me. And I remember making that correlation and I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And I just remembered that and I was like, holy shit, is it because of that connection? I don't know. But I remember writing that down because somewhere in this episode it came into my mind and I was like, oh my God, I remember making that correlation. And I wonder if they did that specifically because of the connection that he's also a Targaryen. So, all right, just want to throw that out there. Next thing I wanted to talk about, Bran. So obviously there's been a lot that's happened. Bran's demeanor, the way that he is now is very different. And I'm connecting that because of the fact that he's a three-eyed raven and he's seen shit. That's it. The shit that the things that he's seen and has come to know, I feel like at some point just leaves you disconnected from everything and everyone. So I really love that his whole demeanor has changed, even talking to Sansa, and obviously he's still being sympathetic because he knows what has happened to her. He knows the connection, he knows the past, he knows what happened, and he's still sorry that that's happened because obviously it was unfortunate and shouldn't have never, all of those things. But even then, he was still very like straightforward about it. And I just think him going through this entire process, and I'm assuming obviously them actually going. One second. Basically what I'm trying to say, like there's been a lot that's happened, and him being the three-eyed raven, till they got there, basically. Like there's a lot that has happened now that he is the three-eyed raven, and I just like it is difficult to kind of process and see, but I definitely I just correlated that directly because of the fact that he's a three-eyed raven. So it's kind of, he's basically kind of just disconnected from everything and everyone. So I think, yeah, because there was a certain, when Sansa hugged him and he looked straight and detached, then I was like, oh shit, like fucking, like that's, it's just this whole like detachment because of the fact of because he's the three-eyed raven. Anyway, wanted to talk about his demeanor because I thought I think that was like a first time show, I feel, especially seeing your family again after so long and everything that's happened. So I wanted to talk about that. I accidentally stopped recording. I also I wrote down hand grab because I wanted to talk about Jorah and Sam's when they shook hands. And I got a little tear. I don't know how it looked on the, I don't know if you guys could see it, but I did get a little emotional and like teary-eyed because the last time I remember that Jorah shook hands was when he was trying to cover it up, but no one knew of this until he shook hands. I believe it was with Tyrion. Hold on. Hold on. Because never mind. I tried looking it for a few minutes back in season 5 and season 6. Could have sworn there was a handshake somewhere. But I searched, I looked for it in the places where I kind of thought it was gonna be ish, because I feel like during that moment it was known that he had it, but they still like basically said goodbye and handshake. But I definitely not there. I tried looking for it, but anyway, it was still important and still like emotional to see that not only him shaking hands, because obviously it's been such a long time that he's been able to even touch somebody else, but also seeing like Sam give him a handshake, you know, because I feel like if you were to be in the place of Sam or any other doctor or someone doing that procedure, you would still be, still fearful of touching someone who had grayscale. So I thought that was a big moment, and I really loved that they focused and took a bit of time to like amplify that specific scene, and they like focused in on the actual like handshake itself, and I really loved that, and I wanted to talk about it because yeah. Next thing. Oh, this one was towards the end. But basically I put Tyrion, sewers, and then I put everything happens for a reason. Obviously I don't know the end of the show. I don't know what's gonna happen. But Tyrion is one of my favorite characters. Especially the characters that I do really like. Or my top characters. I feel like they've gone through so much, but the way that they power through it is just so admiring to me. And I don't think this is okay. So when they're around the table, the things done, and Tyrion's talking about the sewers and how his father basically sent the lowest of the low to the sewers and things and below, and him basically being the lowest of the low to his father. He had gone through so much, and everything, that the way that he's been treated because of what's it called? Jesus. Because he's a dwarf. So him talking, I just feel like him talking about the sewers and everything that's happened, and him having that knowledge is something, I don't want to use the word important, but it's I guess you could say crucial to them kind of taking over Casterly Rock. And I just put in parentheses, everything happens for a reason, because of everything that Tyrion's gone through and the way that he is and the way that he's been mistreated and where he's landed and where he's at now. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know what you're in or why you're in something at the moment, but once time passes or you see the bigger picture, then you realize like how important it is. But I wrote that down too. There's just so much happening. This is just like, just a smidge. I think it's kind of crazy to see this kind of coming down to the Targaryens versus the Lannisters. Just because of not really the past, but I think just in general how they've kind of came to be, I guess you could say. So like the Lannisters have always been known to have the power, to have the money, to all of those things. And with Dany and how she kind of came to be, like she didn't have anything in the beginning of the show. Like everything that she's gone through, she didn't have armies, she didn't have dragons, she didn't have support, basically. Like it was just her alone, you know. I don't know. I just think that's just like the small of a thing that I wanted to talk about, specifically because it seems to come down to Lannister versus Targaryen, especially with Lannisters having all the power and the way that they have the power, and Targaryen and Dany, how she came to power and how she upholds her power and support. Like it feels like very opposed forces. So it's going to be very interesting to see how all of this is going down right now, because there's things like I did not think, I didn't imagine the Lannister army going to Highgarden and taking over that, and then also with what's his name, Euron, I think, that whole is just like things are happening that I think because of how everything's being shown, you have like a certain way of how this thing's kind of sort of gonna play out. And then it feels like kind of just hits you and it's like, no. So on to the next episode. So those are everything that I put down. Also, Arya is on her way to Santa. Right? She turned the other way, I swear. But yeah, I'll see you guys for the next episode. If you guys have anything else to say, or you know, I had a couple questions too, so if you guys feel like I got, you know, a little bit confused and it's easily understandable, comment it. I will be reading all of them. And I will see you guys for the next episode. Please make sure to eat, make sure to rest, and make sure to stay hydrated.